So, hello everyone. Pleasure to be here today with you. So I have a great pleasure to moderate this panel on the East African community. And I have the honor to be with Richard Ngatia, President of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and with Ntudi Muyelo, the Chief Investment Officer at the Kigali International Financial Center. So today, here we're going to talk about the East African community. So it's a community that represents 300 million, close to 300 million people, with a GDP of close to $300 billion. And so it's a key region in Africa, and sometimes a region that is a bit overlooked by French companies. And so to start, Richard, what is your view on the development of the East African community over the last decade?
All right, thank you very much. One of the objectives that you need to know about EAC is to integrate the region. And this, in the year 2000, we had, of course, 3 countries. This is Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, who had already signed that treaty. But the other countries signed, and now EAC is formed of 7 countries, which include Burundi, DRC, there is South Sudan, there is Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. And as we integrate this, it means there are more opportunities for the entire private sector within that region, and not only within the region of EAC, but the entire African continent. And so this is very important for us, for the EAC integration, and to see how we can also be able to utilize our waters. For example, the Nile, we have Lake Victoria, and we have other waters that is surrounding us that we together can be able to utilize. Again, it is very important for that treaty that has been signed, because it breaks all the tariff barriers that actually were not allowing the private sector to interact with business. And so now there's a free flow of business that is continuing within those 7 countries.
Thank you, Richard. And today, there's been a change, an integration of a new country in the East African community recently, with the arrival of the Democratic Republic of Congo. So what do you think it's going to bring to the East African community, and maybe also what do you think for the future other countries might join?
Okay, thank you, Aubin, for the question. Maybe before I answer, I have a request.
Sure.
You work for BPI, right?
Yeah.
Do you see the crowd here?
Yeah.
Do you see the crowd there?
Yeah.
I think next year for Africa, you need to double this.
I mean, to be fair, every year we're asking for it, but we have to push more.
Please,
you have to tell them, yeah, sure.
Please, look at this. And we need to have a security guard, really. That's not fair. That's not cool. Okay, so talking about DRC, as you know, Rwanda, DRC, Rwanda, and the rest of EAC, we have very special relationships, right? Mm. And DRC, we are talking about a population of, officially, over 90 million people in 2020. But we do believe it is over 100 now. If someone is developing any solution that can talk to retail people in DRC, you can easily imagine the size of the market. But what we want people here to know is there are so many different ways to enter EAC. Kenya is one way to do it. Rwanda is another way to do it. And if I can talk a little bit about Rwanda and why we are special when entering into DRC, into EAC, taking your question, we are the only country in East Central Africa with a tax agreement with DRC. So we have signed this agreement, and basically what it means for investors here, when they have an investment entity in Rwanda, and when they invest in DRC, they will benefit from special tax treatment. So for us, EAC is a block, dynamic, young. Population below 25 years old is above 50%. And for investors coming from France, we would like them to feel comfortable to come to Rwanda, to come to Kenya, and benefit from the growth of the region. And I will just give you one example on how the region is being dynamic. So there is this new initiative called Kigali International Financial Center. And this is a business and financial center. And we all believe that South Africa, for example, is the place where you have the largest numbers of investors in Africa. But even those companies from South Africa, they are coming to Rwanda to get access to investors from East Africa. So there is a small story, if you go on Google, a story of a company named, in French, RH Bofelo. This company is listed in South Africa, and they needed to expand in East Africa. They are into healthcare. They decided to come to Kigali International Financial Center to be listed in our stock exchange to get access to investors from East Africa. So the message that I'm sharing here is we don't need investment. We have investment in our own continental economic zone. And companies from France that want to expand in Africa, they can have also access to local partners, but they can also have access to local funding and capital. Today, we see it already happening between South Africa and Rwanda, and we hope tomorrow between, let's say, Senegal and Kenya. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ntudi. Richard, to go more in depth about Kenya, so you're part of KNCCI. So can you tell us a bit more about the role of your organization in Kenya, the companies that you represent, and maybe also the sectors that are the more dynamic, and maybe the opportunities for French companies?
Yes, as the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and as you can see, we are here to make sure that our members are actually getting the right information that they can be able to integrate with business and the private sector globally. Our mandate is to advocate for business while we also make sure that we facilitate trade facilitation. That means if you have your products, for example, in agriculture, we make sure we serve you with certificates of origin. That way, then the user or the end user on the other side will be able to authenticate that those products or produce are actually made in Kenya. So that is our role, and to make sure that we advocate for you so that the legislature in our country, Kenya, can be able to formulate policies that are conducive to the business environment. And therefore, once that business environment is conducive, then you will see the appetite that you're seeing here today of people coming to seek for opportunities. Now, for us, we would like to see more of the French companies listening to us, because we are here to talk to them. We are here to seek those partnerships. We are here to sell our countries in East Africa, in Africa as well. And so in Kenya, we have several opportunities in different sectors. Number one, in ICT. That is one of the sectors that really there are several opportunities in that area. And another one is in fintech. For example, today as we speak, we have had our president go to our neighboring country, Ethiopia, to launch what we call Safaricom. Safaricom, you know, started as a startup, and today is one of the biggest SMEs actually in the world, and can be able to move capital, you know, through your phone anytime, anywhere in the world. And therefore, that is one area. The second area is in agriculture. Again, looking at how we can be able to tap to technology, how we can be able to tap to your technology, for example, in hydroponics, in any new technology that you have here, we can be able to tap into. But it is one of the lucrative business in Kenya and opportunities that you can tap in. That is an area that also creates a lot of jobs for the youth as well. We're not forgetting what we call affordable housing. Now, in affordable housing, we have opportunities in our country. Today, there are 250,000 units, affordable houses, that are available for you to come and take that opportunity to build. And one of the things that our government is doing is to provide land free. That automatically knocks out 40% of your investment. And therefore, you as the investor, you'll be able to invest. The government also will be able to give you the market. We as a private sector will be able to connect you to financial institutions so that you can borrow at a very affordable credit from those financial institutions. Not forgetting, again, what we call the universal health coverage. That is an area, again, you know, worldwide, there was this pandemic, and today the world is looking at enhancing their capacity in terms of health services. And therefore, in Kenya, there's a lot of opportunities in terms of infrastructure, building hospitals, building level 4, level 3, level 2, and even referral hospitals in different areas, in ophthalmology, in imaging, where you can do picture archiving systems, where you can connect all hospitals through what we call cloud imaging, and you can have doctors interpret to patients through that system. So those are areas that we see have big opportunities in our country. Again, looking at logistics, let us look at our ports. Today, we have one of the largest ports in Kenya, which is Lamu Port. It has 3 berths with a vision 2030, that in the next few years we shall have 29 berths. Each berth actually is 17.5 meters depth, and that can hold a wide load of ship. And therefore, that is an area where there's a lot of opportunities in terms of scanning of equipment, in terms of movement of goods. Today we are having about 3,000 containers actually berthing and discharging every day. And so there is a lot of opportunities for you in moving the goods from either Lamu to Sudan to Somali to Uganda to even Tanzania and all the way to DRC. In mining, that is another business that you want to look at. In DRC, now that they are with EAC, there's a lot of opportunities in mining in different minerals, for example. And therefore, in Kenya also, we have a lot of minerals. We have coal. We have even raw earth. Today, we have untapped hill that you can actually mine raw earth worth about 11 trillion, so to speak. And so there's a huge opportunity in that area. So what we are saying, for SMEs, we are looking at the support and partnership with, for example, BPI, where we can come and get supported on financial inclusion, get supported on training, skills, and capacity building on bookkeeping, finances, how to keep your finances, and how to trade, and also get into platforms using the new technology and using e-commerce.
Thank you, Richard. So yeah, we can see that there are a lot of opportunities in Kenya. And Tudi, you talked about how Rwanda is a place where a lot of French companies, foreign companies, and also African companies invest to then address the entire East African community. Can you tell us more about the sectors that are the most dynamic? What are the investments on in Rwanda?
Okay, thank you for the question. And this time I will answer in French, because I do believe that here we have a good mix of French and English-speaking people.
Yeah, sure.
Premièrement, je pense qu'il est important de changer un peu la façon de présenter les choses. L'Afrique n'est pas un continent qui vient aujourd'hui en France pour juste faire un catalogue de projets ou de demandes pour que les investisseurs viennent sur le continent. L'Afrique sait très bien ce qu'elle veut, et l'Afrique a des entrepreneurs qui aujourd'hui cherchent des endroits, des pays qui leur permettent de se développer. L'Afrique de l'Est est une zone qui permet de développer des projets africains, qui est une zone qui permet à des compagnies françaises de se développer en Afrique. Donc, je ne vais pas vraiment répondre à ta question, Aubin. Je ne vais pas parler des 10 000 opportunités du Rwanda. Mon collègue l'a déjà fait. Tout ce que vous avez au Kenya, vous l'avez au Rwanda. Ce que vous avez au Rwanda, vous l'avez également en RDC et autres. Mais ce qui est important pour les jeunes, ce qui est important pour les entrepreneurs, c'est de leur dire, si vous venez en Afrique de l'Est, si vous venez au Rwanda, vous pouvez, par exemple, facilement créer votre compagnie. On ne se rend pas compte. On parle de l'Afrique de l'Est. Il y a des pays en Afrique de l'Ouest aujourd'hui où pour créer une compagnie, et je ne vais pas citer le nom du pays, il faut 3 à 4 mois pour avoir rendez-vous auprès de l'office qui doit ouvrir la compagnie. Au Rwanda, pour ouvrir une compagnie, ça prend 6 heures. Je répète, 6 heures maximum. Et vous pouvez le faire également en ligne. Au Rwanda, pour avoir un compte en banque auprès du centre financier, ça va vous prendre 2 à 3 jours. Dans d'autres pays, je ne dirais pas combien de jours il faut. Et chose importante, en Afrique de l'Est, et le Kenya est l'un des champions, les comptes en banque peuvent être ouverts dans toutes les devises. Donc au Rwanda, vous avez votre compagnie en 3-4 heures, le compte en banque après 2 ou 3 jours, ouvert en euros, ouvert en dollars, ouvert de la monnaie que vous voulez. Et c'est ça aujourd'hui que les gens veulent entendre. La jeunesse a besoin d'avoir des outils qui leur permettent de développer leurs solutions. Les fintechs, on aime beaucoup les fintechs au Rwanda. Et on se positionne comme étant la maison des fintechs de l'Afrique. Pourquoi? Parce que, les fintechs aujourd'hui, leur premier problème, elles ont du mal à avoir la licence pour opérer. Nous les invitons, on leur dit, si vous venez chez nous, en 3-4 mois, vous aurez votre licence. Et si on ne comprend pas bien votre produit, vous allez avoir accès à ce qu'on appelle une sandbox, à travers laquelle vous pourrez développer une solution qu'on ne connaît pas encore dans un espace limité. Et le troisième aspect qui est, je pense, intéressant pour tout le monde aujourd'hui, c'est comment avoir accès au financement. BPI est là, BPI aide, import, export. Je répète ce que j'ai dit avant. Il y a des investisseurs africains qui cherchent des projets africains. Donc je vais donner un exemple. Afrique de l'Est, Afrique de l'Ouest. Dakar, Sénégal. Je ne sais pas s'il y a des Sénégalais dans la salle ou des Ouest-Africains dans la salle. Ils doivent être juste à côté, là. Ils ont ce qu'ils appellent Dakar Network Angels. C'est un groupement d'investisseurs sénégalais qui investissent dans des sociétés jeunes pousses. Leur capital et leur compagnie d'investissement est basée au Rwanda, Afrique de l'Est. Pourquoi? Parce qu'il était plus facile pour eux d'avoir une compagnie avec plus de 50 actionnaires auprès du centre financier de Kigali plutôt que d'avoir la même société à Dakar. Pourquoi? Parce que de Dakar, pour investir à Lomé, pour investir à Cotonou, il faut des autorisations pour que l'argent puisse sortir. Alors que ce soit au Kenya, que ce soit au Rwanda, il n'y a pas besoin d'avoir d'autorisation. L'argent peut rentrer, l'argent peut sortir sans aucun problème. Donc, notre message aujourd'hui, il est double. L'Afrique sait très bien ce qu'elle veut. L'Afrique a des projets portés par des porteurs de projets africains qui cherchent juste les outils et un endroit pour se développer. L'Afrique de l'Est, le Rwanda en particulier, peut être cette place. Le Kenya a également beaucoup d'atouts, surtout au niveau bancaire. Et quand nous venons en France, en fait, nous vous invitons à devenir partenaire de l'Afrique. Et nous vous invitons à devenir africain. Et là, c'est mon troisième message. Il faut comprendre que lorsqu'on devient africain, on comprend comment l'Afrique fonctionne et on est capable de vraiment en profiter. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Ntouzi. Je propose d'ouvrir le bal des questions, si vous avez des questions pour nos intervenants, en anglais ou en français, n'hésitez pas.
Merci. Bonjour, je suis Inès Févillier. Je suis de l'Afrique centrale. Vous n'avez pas cité. Mais elle existe. Hein? Donc, moi, ma préoccupation, c'est bien, vous venez parler des opportunités. Il comprend ou pas? D'accord, il ne comprend pas. Donc, vous venez parler des opportunités africaines aux Européens, c'est bien. Mais est-ce que vous faites la même démarche envers la diaspora? On ne voit pas beaucoup. Parce que la diaspora aussi a beaucoup de projets, mais est encore moins informée, ce qui est bizarre. Elle est moins informée que les autres entrepreneurs. Donc, si j'ai une idée à vous proposer, c'est de vraiment vous focaliser sur ce public, mais alors sous-informé. You listen to me? You understand? You don't understand? Donc, la stratégie, hein, parce qu'eux aussi, ils ont de l'argent. Hein. Bon, il traduit. You listen? Donc, la stratégie, c'est en même temps, vous prenez lundi pour les investisseurs autres, mardi, vous venez pour les investisseurs de la diaspora et de toute l'Afrique. L'Afrique est unique. Hein, ne nous scindez pas, vous savez qu'il y a la ZLECAf. You know ZLECAf? Comment on dit ça en anglais? AFC, tiens. Donc, arrêtez les zones, là, c'est fini. C'est maintenant la ZLECAf. Donc, quand vous parlez de l'Afrique de l'Est, de l'Ouest, ça n'existe plus. Ça n'existe plus. D'accord? Donc, faites en sorte, s'il vous plaît, parce que nous, on fait ce travail-là, mais à un petit niveau, on n'y arrive pas. Vous avez les capacités de le faire. Informez ce public qui s'ennuie, qui a de l'argent, qui ne sait pas où investir, qui a peur de son pays d'origine, qui est mal informé, qui croit que la vie, c'est la politique. Hein? La vie, c'est aussi l'économie. Je vous remercie.
Merci madame pour ce cri du cœur. Et j'aimerais ne pas prendre en exemple encore une fois le Rwanda, ok? Mais ici, il y a la diaspora. Ici, il y a des investisseurs de la diaspora qui ont accès à des projets qui viennent de nos pays africains. Ce qu'il manque peut-être dans le pays où vous êtes, c'est ces canaux qui permettent l'échange entre la diaspora et les opérateurs locaux. Mais je peux vous dire, et le Kenya a en fait créé, si vous regardez, ils ont créé une plateforme. En fait, il y a un gestionnaire de fonds kényan qui s'est spécialisé sur la levée de capital auprès de la diaspora. Et ce gestionnaire de fonds a promis que d'ici 2 ans, il aura le plus grand fonds d'investissement du Kenya, seulement en regardant l'argent de la diaspora. Au niveau du Rwanda, nous faisons des campagnes d'information aussi bien pour les projets que pour des opportunités d'emploi. Donc, juste pour vous dire que non, la diaspora n'est pas oubliée, mais peut-être que dans votre pays aujourd'hui, c'est un peu plus difficile. Et nous sommes ouverts à vous présenter également nos projets, comme vous avez beaucoup d'argent. Et ne soyez pas timide à investir, que ce soit au Kenya ou au Rwanda. Merci.
First of all, thank you very much for your wonderful presentations. My name is Bill Amunga from Quantum Core Consulting and Advisory. My question goes to Mr. Richard Ngatia. Have you set up any formal links or collaborations with the Chamber of Commerce here in France? What are the modalities and how can the diaspora, such as myself, actually participate in reinforcing the commercial links between Kenya and France?
Thank you very much. In fact, I think today I'm very excited because by the time I leave here, I'll have learned full French. So let me say that Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the French Chamber has had a relationship, a very cordial relationship together in terms of supporting both the private sector from both countries. And we meet each other. We are actually a family of the World Chamber Federation. And so our agenda is the same, our objectives are the same. And so if you're living here, for example, as a diaspora, we as the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, once we learn that you're here and the issues you want tackled or the sector you want to venture into, then we will definitely get in touch with the French Chamber, which is actually located in Nairobi. And so we shall give them the opportunity to get in touch with you. We shall also be able to get in touch with you through the commercial attaché. We have the ambassador here, if in case you need any support from there. But for me, the advice that I would also want to give is to yourselves and to this lady, because you've talked much about the diaspora, although I didn't hear much. But we say the business community has one language, which is trade. And I believe what we are doing, what we should do, is to make sure you take the opportunities here. All these people have come to get opportunities, isn't it? They have come to seek for businesses here. If you can take their contacts, this will be the first entry into your business as diaspora here. Secondly, as Kenya, we as a private sector, or Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, has actually taken the initiative to ask the government to have a ministry that is dealing with the diaspora issues, a ministry that is going to deal one-on-one with the people at the diaspora, and so that when they're making their remittances, we know how we can support them in investing back home and also investing at their place of living, where they're living, if it's, for example, in France. And therefore, for your issue, please sit with us before we leave. We shall give you our contacts. The French Chamber is here. They'll give you their contacts. BPI is here. He's a contact. They'll be able, MEDEF is here. We collaborate with each other, and they'll be able to support you.
Thank you, Richard.
Je parle français. Je suis Marina Nobout, gérante de l'entreprise OL International. Nous sommes spécialement en Côte d'Ivoire et j'ai ouvert aussi l'entreprise en Guinée-Bissau, en Guinée-Conakry, au Bénin et en Centrafrique. Et je suis dans le secteur du bâtiment écologique. Donc je construis en BTCS, bloc de terre comprimé stabilisé. Et je pense que c'est un type de matériau qui est voulu partout en Afrique. Parce qu'il y a le problème de logement dans tous les pays africains. Et la difficulté que j'ai, c'est justement comment repartir les capitaux. Ça, c'est d'abord un. Parce que en Côte d'Ivoire, c'est difficile. Lorsque j'ai un investisseur qui veut faire rentrer de l'argent, c'est difficile. Les conditions sont assez difficiles. Alors, donc là, il vient de parler tout à l'heure du cas du Kigali. Donc, c'est facile de faire circuler les capitaux. Donc, c'est de savoir... un peu comme ce qu'on fait ici, est-ce que à partir de son pays, je peux ouvrir un compte, mettre de l'argent et puis développer dans les autres pays? Ça, c'est la première chose. La deuxième chose, je m'adresse maintenant aux investisseurs européens ou les investisseurs de la diaspora. La difficulté qu'on a, souvent, ce sont les conditions qu'ils donnent pour pouvoir financer des opérations immobilières. Ils vont vous dire, par exemple, de trouver des garanties bancaires. Une garantie bancaire, la banque locale te dirait, mais si je dois donner une garantie bancaire, ça veut dire quoi? Je dois me porter garant de l'argent qui vient. Si c'est ce cas-là, même nous-mêmes, on peut faire le crédit. Ça, c'est un. Ou bien on vous demande la garantie souveraine. Et avec tous les problèmes que les pays africains ont, on ne peut pas obtenir aujourd'hui de garantie souveraine. Donc, est-ce qu'il est possible d'avoir des investisseurs qui comprennent l'esprit même du financement africain? Parce qu'aujourd'hui, par exemple, pour les promotions immobilières, c'est de sécuriser la terre, c'est-à-dire le foncier, et puis en face, les acquéreurs. Une fois que ces deux choses-là sont maîtrisées, je pense qu'un investisseur peut faire rapidement un retour sur investissement. Donc, voilà un peu.
So, if I may just take the first part and he will take the second one, the difficult one. The easy part is, oui, vous pouvez ouvrir un compte au Rwanda, au Kenya. D'ailleurs, les banques kenyanes sont au Rwanda et les banques rwandaises sont au Kenya. Donc, il n'y a pas de problème. Et votre compte vous permettra d'investir et d'envoyer de l'argent partout en Afrique, sans aucune restriction. Et je répète, vous pouvez ouvrir votre compte en 2 ou 3 jours. Maintenant, la partie difficile sur les investisseurs, he will answer to you.
Merci. Madam, which country are you from? Ivory Coast. I just want to tell you that I also chair the private sector of the Great Lakes region. These are 12 countries of Africa. And I can tell you it is easy to do business, to interact with business amongst ourselves, because we do have banks from Kenya that have opened in these regions. And I believe they want to extend to other regions in Africa because of the agreement of AfCFTA. Now, we have Equity Bank, we have Kenya Commercial Bank, we have ABSA, also is in Kenya, we have DTB, also Diamond Trust Bank is also opening in this region, and therefore it is easy for you to do business. You spoke a little bit about construction. I would want to entice you and invite you to our country, because right now construction is big business in Kenya. I just said that there's an opportunity of 250,000 affordable houses. Now, if you're in business of cement, for example, or clinker, this is the substance that makes cement. It's big business for you in Africa and big business for you in Kenya at the moment. And so what we were saying is, come, we shall partner with you, and you shall be able to be located in the special economic zone. This is a government-owned zone where you as a private sector can come and own, and you will be able to get tax-free holidays. Tax-free holidays, no taxes, you'll be charged there. And so you can be able to sell 20% of your products into our market, Kenya, and the rest, 80%, you'll sell across Africa and the world. So let's partner with you on construction. Is a big business today. On roads, it's big construction, you use cement. On constructing real estate, is big business. Constructing hospitals is real business. And so Kenya today is a developing country. So you have a lot of business, madam.
Time has run out. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Ntudi. Thank you, Richard. And they'll be right here if you have some more questions for them.